Good afternoon, everybody. This is Roaming Prepper Channel. I'm your host, Pete, and today we're going to go do our Monday situation report. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. The situation report is a compilation of both public sector, government sector, and private sector releases that are public, if that makes sense, and are allowed to be discussed. Now, I cannot share the actual report because that comes to me through some corporate sources, but I can at least give you summaries and tell you where their source was, and then you can go and do your own research. So that's kind of how it works. It goes alphabetically by region of the world, starting with Africa, and then countries in that region, same way, alphabetically. So, this week, Africa, Ethiopia, Tigray party says ban threatens Ethiopia peace deal. This is from the BBC. Ethiopia's main opposition party has condemned a ban on its activities, saying it posed a serious threat to the 2022 peace deal that ended 2 years ago. Ethiopia has been having all sorts of issues. A lot of African countries are right now. Nigeria, Angola, Morocco are more stable. And when I say African nations, a lot of these are sub-Saharan Africa, not North Africa, which a lot of us associate with the Middle East and the Mediterranean. Guinea repossesses 51 mining licenses, the information minister says. That's from Reuters. Guinea's military government has taken back 51 mining licenses as it steps up efforts to repossess claims or concessions where operations have either not been launched or where it says permits are being underutilized. So they're trying to maximize the business for the country. Probably a good move. We'll see how that works out. And then Sudan. Sudan has been a shit show. And Sudan had a civil war breakout between its reserves and its full-time military. It's weird. Think of the National Guard fighting the army, but all over the country. Like it would be absolutely chaos. And a lot of it is occurred right after they made a deal with Russia to allow Russian ships to dock in the Sudan. And makes you wonder if somebody deliberately provoked a civil war, but that's my speculation. Anyway, Sudan, this is Africa news. Paramilitary's drone attack cuts power in Sudanese capital and surrounding area. Sudan's capital, Khartoum, and the surrounding state were still without electricity on Thursday. There's been a lot of issues. You remember Spain and Portugal lost their power allegedly from a technical issue. We've had it happen in the States. Texas almost had it happen because of the freeze. But there's a lot of power outages that nobody can explain. Spain and Portugal were one. Sudan, they obviously was a drone attack. And this is concerning because the bad guys are watching what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and how small drones are being used to really disrupt infrastructure. Not even the big drones, you know, the big like Reaper style drones or the kamikaze drones. I'm talking the little potatoes that can carry about 20 pounds. 20 pounds of explosives is plenty to flatten certain things. And so this is concerning. These are the kind of things you want to watch, because you got to ask yourself, well, if they drone attack my power station, our local refinery, our bridges, remember, you don't have to destroy it. You just have to make it not work. There was something I learned in my undergraduate, which I was an aerospace engineer by degree. I have a bachelor's of science in aerospace and aeronautics. We were talking about anti-aircraft. We were designing a conceptual attack plane, and the professor said, remember, you don't have to destroy the plane. You just have to make it not work, and gravity will do the rest, if that makes sense. And that totally made sense to me when he said it. And that's the way I look at a lot of this. Like, they don't have to blow up a whole city, right? But you take out all the power stations in New York with a drone, and you don't even have to destroy them. Just screw them up enough to where they have to shut them down, and then you wait. And the freak out will do the damage for you. So these are the things I like to watch. But anyway, moving on, East Asia and Pacific. Papua New Guinea, polio outbreak declared in Papua New Guinea. A polio outbreak has been declared in New Guinea, sparking concerns about the disease's spread in a country with low vaccination rates. The polio vaccine is a very old established vaccination, but a lot of people don't take it because we kind of destroyed polio. With a lot of forced immigration, you have people who may be carriers of the disease now coming into populations that don't have it. And nature takes its course, right? If you are not immune to something and someone else has it, it's going to hit you twice as hard. So interesting how that's breaking out. Yet another Rona-ish situation. Thailand, 17 arrest warrants issued over Bangkok skyscraper collapse. This is from BBC. The court in Thailand has issued 17 warrants for people connecting with the building of a skyscraper that collapsed in March. Damn, during an earthquake. That's, yeah, what do you say to that shit? I mean, it was an earthquake, but I guess they were supposed to design it to resist the earthquake, so who knows. Moving on to Europe. Algeria and France. This is from Associated Press. France expels Algerian diplomats in tit-for-tat decision as their feud deepens. France said Wednesday it will expel Algerian diplomats in response to Algeria's decision to do the same, escalating a diplomatic standoff. Now, I don't have a lot of context to that, but this is interesting because people forget France colonized large parts of the Middle East and Africa, as did Britain. Ironically, the only country that didn't colonize anything was the United States. Now we're neck deep in business with all those same places. But I have friends from Libya who swear that the reason Gaddafi got removed wasn't because of gold standard. It was because he told the Saudis and Total Oil and Gas, which is based in Paris, to both eat a bag of shit because he was going to give they were going to give an oil contract, a massive one, to, it wasn't the Americans because they wouldn't have messed with it. It was the Russians or the Chinese. And there's rumors that the Qatar, I said it wrong, Qatar, France, and a couple other former colonies of France all got together and said, we're getting rid of you now because you're a pain in the ass. So I don't have background on that. I'll look into that a little more, but that's interesting. Germany arrests 3 for planning Russian sabotage attacks, from the DW. German prosecutors have said 3 Ukrainian men acting as foreign agents for Russia were arrested on suspicion of planning to plant explosive devices in transported goods. Now, here's what scares me. Is not Russian hiring Ukrainians to do Russia's bidding, but Ukrainians telling other Ukrainians, hey, go blow something up and let's blame the Russians, i.e. a false flag operation. These kind of things are concerning. Now, look at this right now. Sudan, civil war, because Russia wanted a dock there. Then, who was it? Algeria and France now having conflict politically as of right now. We have power outages in certain countries are going down. All of these things speak to instability, and that concerns me. We need to watch this, not to be freaked out, but to ask ourselves, wow, if that happened here, what would I do? And this kind of information should guide your thinking. Okay, moving on. Russia says forces captured 2 settlements in Ukraine. This is from Reuters. Those 2 are still fighting. Israel-Palestine. Israeli army kills 5 Palestinians in West Bank shootout. That's going to be a continuing thing. Yemen. Israeli military intercepts missiles launched from Yemen. That is from the Arab News as well. Then South and Central Asia. India weighs plan to slash Pakistani water supply with new Indus River project. There's another hot spot that concerns me, and both of those guys are nuclear powered. India is giving China fits because they want to take the business from China and bring it to India. And also they share a border, and they've been disputing this border for quite a while. China has sold a lot of equipment to Pakistan to screw with India. We and the Russians have sold a lot of stuff to India to screw with China. That could very easily drag other countries in. And again, the Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, and Iran, you have China, Taiwan, India, Pakistan. All these little areas could conceivably drag other countries in. And again, this is really reminiscent of World War I. And you can go to Prepper Now's channel. He's got a historian's background. and he can speak at length to this, but I truly believe, if you look back at history, World War I, they say the Archduke died and that started it. No, that was the final straw. There had been things going on like this for 4, 5, 6 years prior. There was a series of instabilities, insults, anger, skirmishes, disputes. Everybody started lining up on a team, and then the Archduke got killed. And that became the box that needed to get checked to provoke Austria from hitting Serbia, kicked off the war. So these are the kind of things I'm looking for. Here's another one. Cuba, blackouts and temperatures on the rise in Cuban capital Havana. Daily blackouts averaging 4 hours or more have become the new normal in Cuba. Again, with the blackouts, with the power outages. This is, geez, what is that? The third story now? I've mentioned power outages in yeah, Sudan. What the hell? I didn't even read this before I started letting you guys know about it. Fuck. Okay. And then illegal mining in Ecuador. We already covered this. They're trying to cut down on that. And then Mexico. Is this the end of the Sinaloa cartel? Mexico's criminal landscape may be on the brink of a profound transformation as the ongoing war between the two factions of the Sinaloa cartel threatened to split it into two. And again, makes you wonder if the U.S. is... If you watch Sicario, he said, what's his name? Josh Brolin's character, we don't need to start a war. We need to get them to fight each other. So interesting that that's happening now. Panama's protest tests President Molino on multiple fronts. Controversial deals with the U.S. have supercharged demonstrations. We made a kind of a force-handed deal on the Panama Canal, and I'll bet you anything China has a hand in these protests. I guarantee you. And then the last one, Peru. Peru says suspect in minor killings arrested in Colombia. Peru's Interior Ministry said on Thursday that a suspect in the killing of 13 minors has been arrested in Colombia. That's it for this one, folks. A lot of weird news on this one. A lot of power outages. And countries that have not had an issue suddenly having an issue. And it makes you wonder if we're playing these Game of Thrones types games in the background. We're provoking countries against each other. And again, it only takes 1 or 2 bad sparks to really drag a lot of people and a lot of countries into an utter shit show. So anyway, folks, learn from this. Ask yourself, if this happens here, power outage, drone attacks, whatever scenario you want to look at, do I have what I need to get by? Do I have what I need to get from A to B? Do I have what I need to hunker down or bug out, depending on your situation? Folks, until next time, God bless, Godspeed. You guys take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you on my next video.